What's good, everyone? Coach D here with the Shift Method Personal Training, coming to y'all with another YouTube video. You can believe we're already in February, right? So January is in the books. Hopefully y'all have been crushing it on your health and fitness goals. If you haven't, what I want to do is drop a quick little workout for y'all that you can do in any gym setting here, where you can do a full body workout that's time efficient. It's all your major muscle groups, get your heart rate up a little bit, and it's gonna be fun because we got some cool exercises for y'all. So let's go ahead and show you all the workout. And as always, if you guys enjoy this video, please be sure to smash that like button, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And so let's go ahead and jump into it. So again, it's gonna be a full body workout. We're gonna do 2 circuits today. Each circuit is going to have 3 exercises, and just a little background of why we kind of structure the workouts this way. Again, full body is a really great way to kind of hit everything in a short amount of time. And we know that if you hit each major muscle group twice a week, that's gonna be really good for health benefits. And so by structuring 2 or 3 exercises back to back, it really helps you be time efficient in the gym, make sure you check all the boxes of the muscle groups that you wanna hit. And because you're kind of moving nonstop, you can also sneak in a little bit of cardio, so you kind of get a buy one, get one in that regard. So our first circuit that we're gonna do, and I'll kind of put up the exercises we got here in the corner. We got goblet squats. We're gonna do heel elevated goblet squats to really put some emphasis on the quads. Pull-ups, working the back and biceps, and some ab wheel rollouts to really emphasize the core, a nice bracing dynamic core exercise. And then our second circuit here is going to be a single leg glute bridge, really good for the glutes and hamstrings, and it's unilateral, so it also challenges the core quite a bit. Incline dumbbell bench press, getting the chest, shoulders, and triceps a little bit of love, and then finishing up with some bicycle crunches. Really good full core exercise for the obliques, for the abs, and the hip flexors as well. As I mentioned, I'm doing a lot of running now, so always wanna make sure we're working the hip flexors as well. All right, so now that we know the workout, let's go ahead and jump into that first circuit. All right, so for our first circuit here, again, we're doing heels elevated goblet squat. We got some pull-ups and an ab wheel rollout. For the goblet squat, the big thing that we're gonna focus on here, like I mentioned, is getting your heels on some kind of incline. Why do we do that? Well, whenever you're doing quad work, which of course the squats is gonna be the major focus that we're working on, having the heels elevated a little bit does a couple things. First and foremost, if you're someone that has any kind of ankle mobility issues, it can let you get a little bit deeper into a squat. What's really nice about that is that means I get a greater stretch on my quads. Allows me also to keep my chest upright, nice and tall, instead of getting into kind of a hinge to get into that range of motion. So all in all, it's a really good way for you to get into a deep squat that puts a lot of tension on your quads. We know that tension equals growing muscle. So really, really great alternative from a traditional goblet squat. So of course, always want to do a warm set or 2. So how this works here, you can use plates, you can use a ramp, whatever you have that's something that can elevate your heels slightly. I'm gonna basically get the back third of my foot onto the plates here. I'm going just outside shoulder width, toes turned out a little bit, elbows are in nice and tight. Y'all heard me before. You can imagine like you're trying to make orange juice essentially. Thank you, Kevin Mullins, for the example as always, where you're going to squeeze your elbows in tight like you're trying to squeeze oranges, like you're trying to make some delicious orange juice here. You're gonna come down nice and slow, chest stays up nice and tall, going as deep as you can, and then coming all the way back up here. I'm gonna do 2 warm-up sets. First one here, body weight for 8 reps. I'm gonna do 1 more warm-up for a set of 5. So here we go. All right, so first working set here. For this one, and it's really depending on your time, you can do 2 to 3 sets here. I'm gonna shoot for 8 to 12 reps on this one, making sure I'm getting a nice deep stretch at the bottom, coming up strong on the top. Let's get to work. All right, next we're gonna do some pull-ups. Now, disclaimer here, if you're someone who's unable to do pull-ups, we got a lot of substitutes for this one, so there's no issue with that. You can of course do a lat pull down where you take a seat on the machine and do your sets here. You can do assisted pull-ups if you have an assisted pull-up machine. Because we just did goblet squats, you can just bring the dumbbells over to the machine. Or you can do any back variation like a row or a seated cable row, right? Any kind of back exercise is gonna be a good substitute here. But of course, if you like pull-ups and you can do them, we're gonna go ahead and focus on this exercise. I'm gonna do an overhand grip, right? Overhand grip tends to put a little bit more emphasis on the lats, the big muscles on the back side of your body. If you wanna do a neutral underhand grip, it will put a little bit more emphasis on the biceps and the forearm, but we're gonna focus on lats here today. Now there's gonna be no set number of reps here. I'm gonna go until I have only 2 left in the tank. So what does that mean? You're not really aiming for a certain number. You're just gonna bang out the pull-ups. And when you get to a point where you're like, damn, I can really only do 2 more, that's where you cut it. So that's what I'm gonna do for these 3 sets here is focus on just getting to about 2 left. I'm gonna do 1 more set of 5 just to groove in the form. And then we're gonna go ahead and go into it. So I'm gonna get my arms just outside of shoulder width here, making sure I start fully extended in the elbows, feet off the ground. I'm gonna clear the bar with my chin here. Nice and slow all the way down, small pause at the bottom, full stretch, and back up. Big thing with pull-ups too, that you definitely want to emphasize. Obviously, range of motion is dependent on the person, right? If you're dealing with an injury or some restrictions or whatever, you want to try and make every exercise a full range of motion. So sometimes I see people doing pull-ups where, they'll clear the bar and they kind of stop halfway and kind of do this small motion here. You are still working out, don't get me wrong, but why not just do the full range of motion, get that big stretch, develop the lats, get stronger through a bigger range of motion, you get more bang for your buck out of the exercise. Don't worry about the number of reps, worry about doing it correctly, and then you'll build more reps over time. All right, go until I have 2 reps shy of failure here. Let's see how many Coach D can bang out this morning. Whew. So 14, I think, reps. Maybe could have squeezed out 2 more. That's how we're doing our first set. And again, you're probably gonna see reps go down set to set. If you don't, maybe you gotta push yourself just a little bit more. All right, third and final exercise of our first circuit here. We got Mr. Ab wheel rollout. So really good exercise. And again, a little bit more advanced. So you can do a plank instead, from a kneeling or traditional position here, but a really good exercise to work on bracing, work on those deep core muscles. We call that your transverse abs. And it's a little bit dynamic because I'm going into that overhead stretch position, so also get a little bit of shoulder work as well. So for this one, starting in kneeling position, got something under my knees, so got a little bit of cushion. I'm gonna start here with my arms fully extended, starting with the roller nice and close to my body. I'm gonna slowly bring the ab wheel forward, and I'm gonna bring my body with it, right? I don't wanna just move my arms here, right? This isn't really doing all that much. I have to bring my whole body with me, kind of maintaining that nice flat posture, just like a plank. So I'm here, slowly rolling out, keeping the hips level as far as I can, and then pulling myself back. Ideally outstretching fully, but if you can only go about maybe halfway, that's fine as well. Find a distance that challenges you, but to where you can still maintain good form and pull yourself back to where you started. We're gonna do 30 seconds here. Let's get to it. All right, so second circuit here. Again, full body. So the first one is going to be a single leg glute bridge. Single leg, really good for if you're trying to focus on maybe working one side over the other, because doing both legs at the same time, you can kind of compensate. Also really challenges the core a little bit because all your body weight is shifted to one side. So you kind of have to stabilize. And again, this is really good for the glutes and the hamstrings. And we already kind of worked on the quads quite a bit with the goblet squat. Then of course we got to show the chest, shoulders, and triceps some love, which is going to be with our incline dumbbell bench press. Really good compound upper body lift. And then we're going to finish up with some bicycle crunches, some core for the obliques and the hip flexors. So let's jump into the first one. So my starting point is going to be the bottom of my shoulder blades on the bench here. That's my point of contact. Pick a leg you want to start with. So in this case, I'm going to start with my right leg, and the other leg is going to be bent at 90 degrees to kind of be offset. So I'm not tempted to use this leg at all. As I come up and down, I'm going to keep it fixed right here. From there, I got to make sure my leg is at about 90 degrees. Foot stays nice and flat the entire time. I'm going to drop my hips down nice and low, then drive up through that leg at the top, trying to get flat here without overextending the back. When I dip down, I don't want it to all come from the back either. I want body to stay nice and locked here as I come up into this top position. Gonna do a warm-up set of about 6 on each side, and then we're gonna go from there. Okay, so if body weight is challenging, totally fine to stay there. This is a pretty challenging exercise, but if you want to add a little bit of load to make it tougher, my personal recommendation, whatever side you're working, so again, my right side's going first, I'm gonna hold one dumbbell on my right leg. I know if you're doing both legs, traditionally, you're gonna be here, where it's kind of in the center of your hips, but with one leg, that can be a little bit awkward. So what I like to do is hold it right here, kind of towards the upper part of my hip, keeping the arm bent, so now it's nice and stable for me, all isolated on that one leg. So again, I get in position here, 90-degree bend in the working leg, other leg is up, I'm gonna drop down, squeeze the hips at the top, control coming down. We're gonna do 6 to 8 reps on each side here. Here we go. So, incline dumbbell bench press here. Got my 2 children here with me, ready for the set. Essentially, why do we do incline versus traditional? Incline puts a little bit more emphasis on the upper part of the chest, as well as the shoulders. So it's a nice way to get a little bit more definition and strength development for not just purely the chest, but also isolating the other areas of the upper body as well. So incline-wise, somewhere between 30 to 45 degrees is the general rule of thumb. You can bring the seat up a little bit too if you want to make it a little bit more comfy. And from here, I'm just gonna get the dumbbells in an overhead position to start. Now, key thing here, I wanna start with the dumbbells nice and close together, right? Because the chest is really responsible for bringing your arms from a wide position to a close position. I'm gonna bring my shoulder blades together, trying to bring my chest up towards the ceiling. And as I come down, I'm gonna tuck my elbows in just a little bit. Think like a 45-degree angle until they touch the top of my chest. Big exhale, punch them up. I'm just gonna repeat that. We're going for 8 to 12 reps here. Final exercise of the workout, bicycle crunch. Some call these sprinter's crunches, whatever you call them. Really, really good core exercise. Can also get the heart rate up a little bit, kind of a sneaky form of cardio, and really good again for all of your abs. The top portion, the bottom because legs are involved, and the hip flexors, the muscles that help bring the knees to the chest. So if you're someone who's into running, sprinting, jogging, really good accessory exercise for developing the core. So how this works, I'm gonna get down into a position here where I got my legs fully extended. Hands are gonna be lightly behind the ears. Really big mistake that I see a lot with my clients is sometimes they'll kind of pull and crank on their neck. You don't wanna do that. You wanna be able to bring your abs up naturally and have to pull yourself up with your hands. So they should be nice and loose right here by your ears. Two options here. I can do more regressed version, which is just going one leg at a time, fully extending, head comes down, bringing the elbow to the opposite knee, making sure the lower back is staying as pushed into the ground as possible. Or the traditional way, make it more challenging, is fully extend here, and then I can control the intensity with the speed. We're doing 30 seconds here. Let's go. And that's the video, everyone. Hey, again, if you were kind of crushing in January, but maybe you kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, or maybe you're kind of bored with your workouts, hopefully now you got a fun full body workout that you can kind of incorporate into your fitness routine. And again, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in coaching with me in person here in Boca Raton at Johnny O's Gym, we're doing some online coaching. Please be sure to hit any of those take action buttons on my website, theshiftmethod.org. Send me a DM on Instagram at @the_shift_method. And of course, all the other things like the daily content, the weekly newsletter. Would love to provide that awesome educational content for y'all. And of course, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Later.